There is a reason this moment feels different, Taurus. Not louder, not dramatic, but different in a way you can feel in your chest before you can explain it with your mind. Because a powerful spiritual lesson is finally being revealed to you. And the truth is, it has been trying to reach you for a long time. You may have felt it in the tension you couldn't name, in the restlessness that didn't make sense, in the quiet dissatisfaction that lingered even when everything looked stable on the outside. On February 26th, 2026, something shifts. Not necessarily in your environment, but within your awareness. And when awareness shifts, destiny follows. As a lifelong astrologer, devoted exclusively to Taurus, I can tell you this: your sign does not face spiritual lessons the way others do. You do not chase chaos. You do not crave upheaval. You build, you secure, you protect, you stabilize. But sometimes, the very stability you fought to create becomes the wall that prevents your next evolution. And that is where this revelation begins. This is not about punishment. It is not about loss. It is not about something being taken from you. It is about something within you that has outgrown its former identity. You have been loyal, perhaps too loyal, to a version of yourself that no longer fits, to a pattern that once felt safe, to a comfort zone that once felt like protection. But Taurus, comfort and destiny are not the same thing. There are moments in life when your soul whispers gently, and there are moments when it stops whispering and starts rearranging circumstances so you can no longer ignore it. This is one of those moments. You may notice subtle signs today, not dramatic miracles, but internal realizations, a clarity about a relationship, a truth about your work, a realization about your self-worth. Something that once felt negotiable now feels non-negotiable. That is not stubbornness, that is awakening. The powerful spiritual lesson being revealed is not about forcing change. It is about recognizing that you are no longer the same Taurus who once tolerated what you now question. And here is the deeper truth. The lesson is not asking you to abandon stability. It is asking you to redefine it. For years, you have equated stability with predictability, with routine, with control. But what if true stability is alignment? What if real security comes from inner truth, not external outstructure? This is the revelation. The universe is not shaking your foundation. It is testing whether your foundation is built on fear or on authenticity. And today you begin to see the difference. Stay with me, because what unfolds next will reveal exactly where this lesson is showing up in your love life, your finances, your family dynamics, and most importantly, your relationship with yourself. This is not a random horoscope. This is a mirror. And if you feel even a subtle pull in your spirit right now, that is not coincidence. Comment if this already resonates with you, because what we are about to uncover may change the way you see your own strength forever. Let's begin. Part 1. The resistance. Taurus, before any spiritual lesson becomes visible, it is resisted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but internally. And this is where your revelation truly begins. A powerful spiritual lesson is finally being revealed. But the first place it appears is not in your circumstances. It appears in your resistance. You are not afraid of hard work. You are not afraid of commitment. You are not afraid of building slowly. What you are afraid of, though you rarely admit it, is instability. As a fixed earth sign ruled by Venus, your nature is to preserve what works. You secure, you stabilize, you protect. You invest emotionally and materially into foundations that feel solid. And when something threatens that foundation, even subtly, your first instinct is not transformation, it is preservation. But here is what February 26, 2026 is quietly revealing. The foundation you are trying to preserve may no longer reflect who you are becoming. And that realization is uncomfortable because Taurus does not change impulsively. You analyze, you observe, you wait. You tolerate. You endure. You convince yourself that if you can just stabilize the situation a little longer, it will return to balance. But some situations are not meant to return. They are meant to evolve. The spiritual lesson unfolding now is not about destruction. It is about awareness. Awareness that growth sometimes requires movement, and movement feels like risk. In love, this resistance may show up as holding on to a dynamic that feels familiar, but no longer fulfilling. You tell yourself loyalty is strength, and it is. But loyalty without reciprocity becomes self-neglect. In career matters, you may resist pursuing a path that excites you because it disrupts your predictable rhythm. You prefer guaranteed progress over uncertain potential. In family, you may hold roles that once defined you: the provider, the stabilizer, the dependable one. Even if those roles are draining you quietly. And none of this makes you weak, it makes you human. But here is the revelation. Your resistance is not protecting you anymore. It is delaying you. You have built your life carefully, brick by brick, decision by decision. But if a wall was built during a phase of fear, it will eventually limit expansion. This is not about tearing everything down. It is about asking yourself, is this structure still aligned with my current truth? Because stability built on outdated identity becomes confinement. And Taurus, you are not meant to be confined by your own strength. Life lesson. Security is not the same as safety. Security is external. Safety is internal. When you feel internally safe, you can evolve without feeling threatened. Sit with that truth. If this resonates with you, if you recognize your own resistance in these words, comment that it resonates. Awareness is the doorway to alignment. And now that we have identified the resistance, we must examine what happens when resistance can no longer hold back evolution. Because the next phase of this spiritual lesson is the breaking point. Let's go there. Part 2, the breaking point. Taurus, resistance can only hold for so long. There comes a moment, subtle at first, when what you have been managing, tolerating, or quietly enduring begins to feel heavier than usual. Not unbearable, just heavier. And that is the breaking point. Not the kind that explodes in chaos, the kind that happens internally. The kind where you wake up one morning and realize you cannot continue pretending that everything feels right. This is where the spiritual lesson intensifies. The energy around this period is not about loss. It is about shedding. And for you, shedding is profound because you don't release easily. You attach with intention. You invest with seriousness. You build with permanence in mind. So when something begins to crack, you question yourself first. Am I overreacting? Am I being ungrateful? Should I just push through? But here is the truth. Your soul does not create discomfort without purpose. The breaking point is not failure, it is feedback. In relationships, this may be the moment you recognize that you have been the emotional anchor for too long. You have been patient. You have been understanding. You have been steady. But steady does not mean silent. If your needs have been minimized in the name of harmony, that harmony was never balanced to begin with. In your professional life, the breaking point may show up as boredom, disguised as stability. You are competent, reliable, trusted. But deep inside, a part of you feels underutilized, under-challenged, under-inspired. And that quiet frustration begins to whisper, there is more. Financially, this breaking point may be subtle. You may realize that your relationship with money has been driven more by fear of loss than belief in expansion. Saving is wise. Planning is wise. But when planning becomes anxiety, abundance feels distant. The spiritual lesson here is not to abandon discipline. It is to detach from fear-based control, because control is comfortable. Growth is not. The breaking point is where your identity begins to shift. The version of you that once survived certain circumstances is no longer the version that must continue surviving them. You are not in survival mode anymore. You are in evolution mode. And evolution demands honesty. There may be a conversation you have been postponing, a decision you have been delaying, a boundary you have been afraid to enforce. The breaking point is where avoidance loses its power. This is not dramatic transformation. It is mature awakening. And for Taurus, mature awakening is powerful. You do not move recklessly. When you decide something is no longer aligned, you move with finality. That is why this period matters. Because once clarity sets in, you rarely go backward. Life lesson. Endurance is a strength, but endurance without reflection becomes self-sabotage. True strength is knowing when to stop carrying what no longer serves your growth. If this feels personal, if you can identify where your own breaking point has been forming, comment that it resonates. Naming it reduces its power over you. Now that resistance has weakened and the breaking point has surfaced, we must explore where this lesson touches you most deeply. And for you, Taurus, that place is the heart. Let's move into the emotional truth. Part 3. The emotional truth. Taurus, if there is one place where your spiritual lesson becomes undeniable, it is in your heart. You are not emotionally shallow. You are emotionally deliberate. You do not fall quickly. You do not trust easily. And when you love, you do not love halfway. You build love the way you build everything else, slowly, intentionally, with long-term vision. You do not treat connection like a temporary experience. You treat it like an investment, and that is why heartbreak affects you differently. When someone wounds you, you do not always react dramatically. You do not always create scenes. Instead, you retreat internally. You protect your dignity. You close doors quietly, and once closed, those doors rarely reopen. But here is the emotional truth being revealed right now. Protection can become isolation. Some of you have built emotional armor so refined that even you have forgotten it is there. You tell yourself you are independent. You tell yourself you are selective. You tell yourself you simply know your worth. And you do, but knowing your worth should not require shutting out vulnerability. This spiritual lesson is not about chasing love. It is about examining how you respond to it. If you are in a relationship, you may be realizing where you have been emotionally present, but internally guarded. You show up physically. You provide stability. You create security. But have you allowed yourself to be fully seen, or have you maintained control by limiting how deeply someone can access you? Control feels safe, but intimacy requires surrender. If you are single, you may be confronting a pattern attracting emotionally unavailable people, or rejecting potential partners before they get too close. You may claim you are waiting for the right one, but sometimes what you are really waiting for is the guarantee that you will not be hurt. And that guarantee does not exist. The emotional truth being revealed is this: you cannot demand depth while avoiding vulnerability. Love for you is sacred, but sacred does not mean rigid. Sacred means alive. Alive means evolving. Some of you may feel someone resurfacing from the past, emotionally or physically. An old connection, an unfinished chapter. Not necessarily to rekindle, but to resolve. Closure is part of growth. Others may sense a new energy approaching someone whose presence feels different, less dramatic, less chaotic, more aligned. But alignment only works if you are emotionally open. Taurus, your strength is consistency. Your challenge is flexibility. And in matters of the heart, flexibility is not weakness. It is maturity. You are not being asked to love recklessly. You are being asked to love consciously. There is a difference. This powerful spiritual lesson is refining how you relate to others. It is teaching you that self-respect and openness can coexist, that boundaries and tenderness are not opposites. You do not need to harden to protect yourself. You need to trust your discernment. Life lesson: protecting your heart should not mean imprisoning it. True emotional security comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever unfolds, not from preventing anything from unfolding at all. Pause for a moment. If this emotional truth feels accurate, if you recognize your own patterns in these words, comment that it resonates. Awareness in love changes everything. Now that we have faced the heart, we must turn toward another core dimension of your identity, your relationship with stability in the material world. Because for Taurus, love and money are not separate lessons. They both reflect self-worth. Let's explore that next. Part 4. Money, stability, and self-worth. Taurus. When we speak about your spiritual lesson, we cannot ignore the material realm, because for you, money is never just money. It is security. It is proof of effort. It is control over uncertainty. It is protection against chaos. And there is nothing shallow about that. You understand something many people do not. Comfort is built. Stability is earned. Security is created through discipline. But here is the revelation quietly surfacing now. What you believe about money reflects what you believe about yourself. You are naturally patient with financial growth. You are willing to delay gratification. You respect long-term investment. You would rather build slowly than gamble recklessly. Yet if we look deeper, some of you have been operating from subtle fear, not obvious fear, responsible fear, the kind that says, I must secure this, so I never have to feel unstable again. I must prepare for the worst. I must always have enough. Preparation is wise, but when preparation becomes anxiety, abundance feels fragile. This spiritual lesson is asking you to examine where your financial habits are driven by empowerment and where they are driven by fear of loss. There is a difference between planning wisely and clinging tightly. Some of you may be realizing that you have tied your identity too closely to productivity, that your sense of worth rises and falls with your earnings, your progress, your tangible achievements. But Taurus, your value is not conditional on output. You are valuable before you produce anything. If your financial life has felt stagnant recently, this is not a punishment. It may be a recalibration, a reminder that stability built purely on external accumulation will never quiet internal insecurity. And if financial opportunities are opening for you, the lesson remains the same. Do not expand from desperation. Expand from confidence. You are entering a phase where discipline will still matter, but mindset will matter more. The cycle turning now rewards clarity over control. You may feel called to reevaluate investments, explore new streams of income, adjust spending habits, negotiate your worth more firmly. But the deeper spiritual layer is this. You are being taught that wealth and self-worth must align. If you undervalue yourself, you will accept less than you deserve financially and emotionally. If you overcompensate through accumulation, you may never feel satisfied. Balance is the lesson. For years, you equated stability with predictability. But true stability is confidence in your ability to adapt. Adaptation does not erase your grounded nature. It strengthens it. There is an inner shift happening where you begin to see that your security does not come solely from what you have saved. It comes from who you have become. Your intelligence, your work ethic, your discernment, your patience. Those qualities cannot be taken from you. Life lesson. Wealth without self-worth never feels like enough. Self-worth without discipline never becomes tangible. When the two align, abundance becomes sustainable. Pause here. If this reflection on money and value feels personal, if you see yourself in this pattern, comment that it resonates. Financial awareness is spiritual growth in practical form. And now, Taurus, we move into a deeper dimension of this revelation. Because this lesson is not only about you. It is about karma, it is about balance, and it is about what is finally being corrected in your life. Let's go there. Part 5. The karmic correction. Taurus, when something feels finally revealed, it is rarely random. It is karmic, not in the dramatic sense, not in the mystical fantasy sense, but in the sense of alignment. There are seasons in life when you are building. There are seasons when you are enduring. And there are seasons when the scales quietly rebalance. You are entering a rebalancing phase. For a long time, many of you have felt that you were giving more than you were receiving. More effort, more patience, more consistency, more emotional stability. You did not complain loudly. That is not your style. You internalized. You justified. You waited. Because Taurus believes in timing. But here is what this spiritual lesson is revealing. Patience is powerful, but patience without boundaries invites imbalance. Some of you have been involved in dynamics where your steadiness was taken for granted. In work environments where your reliability became invisible. In relationships where your loyalty became expected rather than appreciated. Karmic correction does not arrive with revenge. It arrives with clarity. You begin to see who values you and who simply relied on you. You begin to recognize where reciprocity exists and where it never did. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This is not about bitterness. It is about self-respect. In this phase, you may witness a truth revealed, a situation resolving naturally, an imbalance correcting itself without force, a door closing that once drained your energy, or a door opening that finally matches your effort. This is not coincidence. When you have operated from integrity, alignment eventually rewards you. Not instantly, but inevitably. The karmic lesson here is subtle, yet profound. You don't need to fight for what is meant for you. You do not need to overprove your value. You don't need to overextend to earn love, recognition, or success. The scales are adjusting. If legal matters, financial disputes, or emotional misunderstandings have weighed on you, this period carries energy of resolution. Not because you demanded it aggressively, but because you remained anchored in truth. Truth may move slowly, but it stabilizes permanently. For Taurus, this correction feels quiet, but undeniable. You may sense that you are no longer willing to negotiate your standards. Not from ego, from maturity. You are not harder, you are clearer, and clarity is power. This spiritual lesson is teaching you that fairness begins internally. When you stop overgiving, external dynamics shift. When you stop tolerating imbalance, imbalance loses access to you. Life lesson: karma does not reward endurance alone. It rewards alignment. When your actions reflect your self-worth, the universe mirrors that energy back to you. Pause here. If you feel that something in your life is currently rebalancing, if you sense that justice in some form is unfolding, comment that it resonates. Awareness strengthens the correction. Now, Taurus, we move to the final and most profound layer of this revelation. The lesson beneath all lessons. The truth your soul has been preparing you to understand. Let's uncover it. Part 6. The true spiritual lesson. Taurus, everything we have uncovered, the resistance, the breaking point, the emotional truth, the recalibration of money and self-worth, the karmic correction has been leading here. Because a powerful spiritual lesson is finally being revealed. And it is not what most people expect. It is not about becoming someone new. It is about releasing the version of you that survives. For years, you built your life around protection. Protection of your heart. Protection of your finances. Protection of your reputation. Protection of your stability. And there is wisdom in that. But survival mode is not the same as fulfillment mode. At some point, your soul grows beyond the identity that once kept you safe. That is what is happening now. You are not being stripped of your strength. You are being invited to redefine it. Strength is not silent endurance forever. Strength is not carrying everyone else's weight without complaint. Strength is not proving your loyalty through self-sacrifice. True strength is alignment. Alignment with what feels honest. Alignment with what reflects your worth. Alignment with what expands you rather than confines you. The powerful spiritual lesson being revealed today is this: you cannot grow into your next chapter while clinging to the version of yourself that survived the last one. There may be grief in that realization, not grief for a person, not grief for a job, not grief for a circumstance, but grief for an identity, the dependable one, the strong one, the patient one, the one who never complains. You can still be dependable, you can still be strong, you can still be patient, but not at the cost of your own evolution. This is the shift. Some of you are beginning to feel lighter, not because problems disappeared, but because you are no longer defining yourself by how much you can tolerate. You are beginning to define yourself by how deeply you can align. You are not losing control. You are releasing unnecessary control, and that difference changes everything. This lesson is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not chaotic. It is mature. It is grounded. It is unmistakable. You are realizing that stability must evolve alongside you. If your environment does not evolve, you will outgrow it. If your relationships do not deepen, you will detach from them. If your career does not reflect your worth, you will reposition yourself, not impulsively, not recklessly, but decisively. Because when Taurus moves with clarity, the movement is permanent. Life lesson: you are not here to maintain comfort forever. You are here to build a life that matches who you are becoming. Comfort without growth becomes confinement. Growth without grounding becomes chaos. You are learning to hold both. Pause for a moment. If you feel this internal shift, if you recognize that you are not the same person you were even a year ago, comment that it resonates. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. And now, Taurus, let us close this chapter with clarity. Because revelation is powerful, but integration is everything. Let's conclude. Final conclusion. Integration. Taurus, a powerful spiritual lesson, has finally been revealed. Not through chaos, not through collapse, but through awareness. And awareness changes everything. You began this journey resisting subtle shifts, questioning discomfort, protecting stability. But now, you understand something deeper. The lesson was never about destroying your foundation. It was about refining it. You are not being asked to abandon your grounded nature. You are not being asked to become impulsive or reckless. You are being asked to evolve with intention. You have learned that resistance is often a signal of growth, that breaking points are invitations to maturity, that emotional armor must not replace vulnerability, that money reflects self-worth, that karma rewards alignment, and that true strength is not endurance, it is clarity. This February 26th, 2026 energy marks a turning point. Not because something external explodes into your life, but because something internal settles. You are clearer. You are steadier. You are more honest with yourself. And honesty is the most stable foundation of all. The spiritual revelation is simple yet profound. You do not need to hold everything together to deserve peace. You need to hold yourself in truth as you move forward. Does this choice reflect who I am becoming? Does this relationship honor my value? Does this path align with my inner stability, not just my outer comfort? If the answer is yes, continue confidently. If the answer is no, trust that you now have the maturity to adjust. You are not late. You are not behind. You are unfolding at the exact pace your soul requires. And Taurus, when you align, truly align, your growth is unstoppable because it is grounded. Before we close, reflect quietly. Where in your life have you been protecting something that no longer needs protection? Where have you outgrown your own limitations? Comment if this resonates with you. Your reflection strengthens your clarity. And if this message spoke to you, stay connected. These sessions are not about prediction. They are about understanding yourself more deeply so that your decisions become conscious and powerful. You are not just building a stable life. You are building an aligned one, and that is the real revelation. Take this lesson with you, move with clarity, and trust the evolution that is already underway. If this message found you at the right moment, that was not an accident. These sessions are not just horoscopes. They are reflections. They are awakenings. They are reminders of who you are becoming. If you are a Taurus who values depth over noise, clarity over chaos, evolution over repetition, then this space was created for you. Subscribe and stay connected to this journey of self-awareness and spiritual refinement. Because transformation does not happen in one day. It unfolds in layers, and you deserve guidance that respects your strength, your patience, and your intelligence. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next revelation meant for you. Your evolution is steady, your alignment is powerful, and this is only the beginning.